What up, the new world, though? The Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/shop. You can actually find the link in the Instagram bio, or you can type the URL in yourself. Do that if you want to support the movement as we continue to support y'all. We got a lot of gear, a lot of paraphernalia with our logo on it. Even these sweaters and shirts and hoodies in different color shapes and sizes too. Match anything in your wardrobe, keeping you swaggy. So make sure you check that out. Again, support us as we continue to support y'all. Now, today for the news, you got the trial, opening arguments for the trial of killer cop Derek Chauvin actually set to begin today. You have Derek Chauvin is the Minneapolis police officer that actually murdered George Floyd, African-American man, last May, and it sparked worldwide protests. So this is a major deal. Derek Chauvin has been charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter after kneeling on George Floyd's neck for about around 9 minutes, and then it took his life. You know what I'm saying? And this is all while he, it's a sad situation if you even see the video. Apparently, once the trial started, they actually showed they showed the video of him being murdered. You know what I'm saying? It was described as horrific already. So you have, right now, keep in mind, National Guard troops have been deployed to the Minneapolis courthouse where this is going to take place. That is in contrast to what happened with the January 6th situation in Capitol Hill in DC, when they were supposed to be counting the electoral votes, and they anticipated white supremacists, MAGA and all them motherfuckers come in there with weapons and guns to actually protest. Now here you have, our people, we know for doing a peaceful protest, you know what I'm saying, whether that's good or bad, but yet here they are, they're still going to deploy those troops to the courthouse. So you have that scenario set up. Keep in mind, yesterday they actually had a vigil for the family of George Floyd, and a lot of them were actually, instead of kneeling on one knee, they were kneeling on two knees to pray to God that justice is brought about with the situation. Keep in mind, the Floyd family, they've already received a very hefty law settlement, we'll say a settlement of like $27 million. So, that's where they're at. We'll see how this court case turns out. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Burma, them motherfuckers ain't playing. The Burmese military, keep in mind, on February 1st, they had actually initiated a coup that toppled Burma's democratically elected civilian government. You know what I'm saying? And ever since they did that and took over the country, there have been protests, countless protests against this, and military crackdowns on said protests. Well, this happened again on Saturday, where in dozens of cities across the country, there were protests going on, and Burmese military came down and cracked down on all of these shits. Killed at least 114 people. Now, this is serious business. It has been condemned by the United Kingdom, by the United States, by the European Union, and the United Nations. And you have the United Nations Special Reporter basically saying, calling the incident, the Special Reporter for Burma, calling the incident mass murder. Now, keep in mind, this is going on and after this happened on Saturday, on Sunday, they actually had a funeral for one of 20-year-old student protester that was actually killed in the protest the day before, and the Burmese military came and shot that shit up. They shot up the funeral. This is like some shit you hear in a rap song or something like that, some gangster shit. So real serious business over there. And then meanwhile, that's going on in southeast Burma. They've actually military had actually been bombing on areas controlled by the Karen ethnic group, which has caused 3,000 Burmese residents to actually flee the area into Thailand. So that's what's going on, and it just seems like the Burmese military is not letting up. 459 people, including 35 children, are said to have been killed ever since the February ever since the protests against what happened on February 1st, that coup, have taken place. And this whole, and there were definitely children amongst the 114 that were just killed on Saturday. So, and this is all, these numbers are according to rights groups. So, fucked up situation. We'll see what comes of it. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you got Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio, Louisiana, and North Dakota. These are 6 states that are actually opening up the ability for people that are 16 and over now to actually get COVID-19 vaccines. So, you know, initially it was just for the old people and the healthcare workers, whatever, and, you know, the qualifications for getting the vaccine have lowered. So that is what it is for those states. There are at least 3 other states that are set to join them this weekend, opening it up to 16 and overs. And you also have, keep in mind, 36%, at least 36% of the U.S. population has had at least 1 dose of the coronavirus disease 2019 vaccine. And I spell that out because obviously these are not vaccines for the variants that we are also worried about right now. But keep in mind that officials are trying to get these needles in as many arms as possible, because there's like increasing rates. There's at least over 24 states that have seen an increase in new infections, new cases of at least 10% compared to the week prior. So you have New Jersey and New York, you know, which was the initial epicenter in America for the COVID-19 virus. They actually have now again become the states that are leading in infections in the United States. Now you had Dr. Deborah Birx. This is the coronavirus coordinator under Donald Trump. She actually interviewed with CNN. She said that she felt the first 100,000 deaths were essentially due to the original surge of the disease, but she felt like everything after that could have been mitigated or substantially decreased. So keep in mind, right now we're at a total of 550K. Everybody stay woke, Green Wall graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Man, shit shaking in this world that we live in, you know what I mean? Crazy world where you got over in Mexico, they actually had to revise their COVID-19 numbers, and in doing so, and in releasing what they're saying is the true numbers, their death toll to COVID-19 has increased by over 60%. That actually puts their official death toll at over 321,000. That now puts Mexico, as far as having COVID-19 deaths, ahead of Brazil and only behind the United States. So that's a big deal, especially considering that not only are they the country right next to us, but also that COVID-19 was understood to be spreading in these asylums, and while people are getting jailed and then getting sent to remain in Mexico, you know what I mean, under Trump and all of that. So, you know, that's bizarre. But also in Chile, another bizarre case where they have actually had have a nationwide lockdown. It's affecting 80% of residents in Chile while they're going through this crazy wave of COVID-19 and people getting infected or whatever. And it's ironic because Chile actually has one of the world's highest vaccination rates. So people who are studying the matter suggesting like it could be due to them not implementing mitigation efforts, or not their lack of adherence to mitigation efforts, as well as the spread of new variants. So I think that is very telling. Over here in the US, we have new variants coming, and we worried about getting people vaccinated. But with Chile, it ain't even stopping them because they got a whole new surge and one of the highest vaccination rates. So that's going on. And then over in Brazil, the healthcare system might collapse. I mean, they have so many infections that the hospitals are swelling. I have been reporting on that in the last couple of weeks, and right now it's about to collapse. Also, keep in mind, Brazil, for the past 2 weeks, has accounted for a quarter of the world's COVID-19 deaths. So that's where we at with the Green Wall and graduation. What other New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you got the World Health Organization that's actually warning that COVID-19 cases are on the rise in African nations, and at least like 12 African nations, and that a third wave is actually on the way. Now, for the record, they've been wrong about this. I mean, Africa was supposed to be the hardest hit nation by COVID-19, and actually A lot of African countries did what the U.S. should have did in the beginning, like, closing off borders and, it's just taking those proper measures that you should do when a pandemic is out there looming throughout the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So, shame on Donald Trump for that, but I digress. Keep in mind that in Africa, though, there's less than 1% of the population is said to have actually taken the COVID-19 vaccine. You have South Africa that actually has it the worst as far as COVID cases, with over 52,000 deaths and over 1.5 million cases. Green Wall Graduation. What other new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Indonesia, you actually had a Catholic church mass going on Sunday, and a pair of suicide bombers actually came in, blowing shit up, injuring at least 20 people. Now, this was a Palm Sunday mass that's supposed to start the Holy Week that's leading up to Easter. You know what I'm saying? So it was a big deal. No group is claiming the responsibility for the attack, so it's not they're not completely sure who did it. But there's a senior police official that believes it was a group that is already known, already pledged its allegiance to ISIS, and was actually implicated in a string of suicide bombings during 2018, specifically bombings of churches. So we'll see how this unravels. Green Wall Graduation. What other new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you have over in Mozambique, that's in Africa for the slow motherfuckers. They actually had a group that came down, converged on the whole town of Palma and Cabo Delgado. Now, what they did was they actually assaulted. They came down on the military barracks. They set buildings on fire. They opened fire on civilians. And they was just hunting down military government officials. So it got really serious. Dozens are dead. Thousands were actually displaced. Now, with this happening, this actually put Mozambique in a situation where, since 2017, there have been thousands that have been killed from infighting that's been going on, and as well as 700,000 people that are said to have been displaced. So it's real ugly over there. The military of Mozambique, they actually blamed the attack on a group that aligns itself with ISIS. But we'll see how this continues to unravel. Green Wall Graduation. What other the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report, man. Shit getting real sticky out here as these national, international relationship situations are coming about. You actually have Iran and China actually signing a deal, an economic and security cooperation deal that will see that China invest $400 billion in Iran in exchange for all regular deliveries of oil over the next quarter century. That's 25 years for those who can't do division, right? Nevertheless, this is it also includes them setting up an Iranian-Chinese bank that will allow Iran to circumvent U.S. sanctions so that it can participate in the global banking system. Now, keep in mind that these sanctions were imposed under the Trump administration once Trump unilaterally pulled the U.S. out of the Iranian nuclear deal of 2015. You know what I mean? Trying to undo everything Obama was doing, even if it made sense. But I digress, you know what I mean? But the thing with this was, it's very interesting that China would do this. Now, keep in mind that they also set up a $400 billion deal with Russia some years, not too long ago, and in exchange for oil. And keep in mind, they also have been investing in the infrastructure greatly of Africa. That's why rapper, singer Akon, you know what I'm saying, from my hometown, by the way, Jersey City, by way of Senegal, of course, actually was able to do the Light Up Africa project because he was getting a credit line from China. So China really making some moves out here, trying to, really impact some of these continents. So, you got the Middle East, you know what I'm saying? You got over there in Russia, because Russia kind of sometimes is its own continent in a way, or whatever, other than the fact that it's not its own little peninsula. But also you have, how much money, control and money that they have working over here in the U.S. So it's starting to give credibility to the fears that these people on the right wing have of China being some threat or superpower. I still think it's overshot and more a reflection of how poor we've handled our economy but nevertheless, it is still a threat. And America got so much dirt on its name and has kicked up so much dust across the globe that you do have to now play offense anytime you see somebody that can gain a comparable amount of power, because you don't know if they coming back to bust your ass. But everybody stay woke though. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox Newz report. So federal officials have actually revealed that a 9-year-old girl earlier this month had actually drowned while she was coming from Mexico trying to cross the Rio Grande into the United States. They also revealed that her 3-year-old brother and her mother, who's Guatemalan, were also found unresponsive, but those two were successfully resuscitated. So, you know what I'm saying? That's an unfortunate situation that highlights what's going on at the border. I mean, shit must be dire if motherfuckers, shit must be dire in their own places of where they're coming from, for them to feel like they need to risk their life and possibly die just to get to this shithole of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nevertheless, you know, keep in mind, right now it's reported that 18,000 unaccompanied migrant children are actually being held by the United States government. Over 5,000 of them are actually being held in Customs Border Patrol facilities, which are not equipped to handle children. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox Newz report. So make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/LPAI. LPAI. That's an acronym for Let's Post About It. It's actually our own social media platform that we are cultivating and creating these separate forums for us as a people to engage in, whether it's the black community, the American community, the hip hop community, shit, the international community. I mean, any of these forums can be created, and in these platforms, you can actually share information in a way that you can't do on these other social media platforms. You can't share coding, you know what I'm saying? You can't share motherfucking, I mean, you can put in PDFs, you can put in all sorts of documentation, whatever it allows us to actually build. You can embed videos and watch the videos in the platform. So it's real big business, and you know, there's more to come. We got the GP tutoring platform also coming that will have perks for it if you are signed up for LPAI. So make sure you check that out, show us some love. We continue to show love to y'all, giving y'all this real. Over in Bessemer, Alabama today, you actually have a vote going on. 6,000 workers at this Amazon plant are actually, for Amazon, pardon me, in general, not at this specifically the plant, but 6,000 Amazon workers in Bessemer, Alabama are voting today on whether they should form a union or not. So, you know, a yes vote would make history. This would be the first union within the company. So we will see how this turns out. It's a big moment in history since Amazon has such a stronghold on fucking human life. You know what I mean? So everybody stay woke. We'll see what happens. Green War and Graduation. Of the New World Order Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox Newz report. So you got Republican Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee actually making Tennessee the 3rd state this month, along with Arkansas and Mississippi, to sign bills and sign legislation that's considered to be attacking transgenders. So this bill that Lee signed on Friday, this legislation actually requires that for middle and high school sports, the athletes are required to provide legal documentation showing the gender that they had at birth. And I guess it'd be up to the program or league or school or whatever to determine whether they can actually participate in that sport or not. And you know, there's like pros and cons to, you know, both sides of this equation or whatever, but right now, a lot of people are considering this as an attack on transgenders. You have 28 states set this year to actually vote on anti-trans legislation, or what's considered to be anti-trans. You have transgender advocates that are actually setting up basically a transgender visibility week, as you are having an International Trans Visibility Day on Wednesday. So, you know, it should be some interesting things coming on, especially in these days and times. You know what I'm saying? Green War and Graduation. News report of the New World Order Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox Newz report. So you got Dr. Bandy Lee, AZ ticket, whatever, used to work at Yale University, but not anymore because Yale University has actually terminated her employment. Now this is a renowned forensic psychiatrist, right? And after she had put out a tweet last year that basically was coming at Trump and the Trump administration when she basically in this tweet said that she was talking about Alan Dershowitz, who's Trump's lawyer, Harvard professor. He was Trump's lawyer during this impeachment process. He was also the lawyer for Bill Clinton when, he was handling that Monica Lewinsky situation, right? So he got a name, he got a buzz or whatever, and he got power. He actually called in to Yale to get Shorty terminated for this tweet that she put out, basically saying that that Trump supporters had like a shared psychosis, that they basically all brainwashed or they all off mentally or whatever, and suggested that Dershowitz also had wholly taken on Trump's symptoms by contagion. You know what I'm saying? And if you see the tweet, you'll see what is basically getting at or whatever. Now, Yale University said that she violated the American Psychiatric Association's Goldwater Rule, which basically says that it's unethical to comment on a public figure's mental health without medical examination, essentially. So, but a lot of psychiatrists, including Dr. Lee, have actually called this, have said this is like a gag order, basically. And she said basically she feels like it's her civic duty to actually warn the public about things that she sees like that, and potential dangers and all of that. So she has filed a lawsuit against Yale University, and her speaking with news outlet Democracy Now!, our main source, she actually was saying how, she had, after work, they terminated her appointment like that after working there for 17 years. And this is her alma mater at that. So she, with a heavy heart, had to file this lawsuit against him because it's a matter of academic freedom and freedom of speech, which is the only protection that we have against authoritarianism and dangerous leadership. And on that latter part, she's definitely right. But what y'all think about that, though? Green Wall and graduation. Report out of the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/music. Straight heat over there, But we're going to get into this news, though. You actually have the House Democrats actually have introduced a bill on Friday that basically calls for, it's called the DeJoy Act, DEJOY Act. DeJoy being an acronym, and shout out to the people who be making these acronyms, yo, because y'all clever as fuck. But DeJoy is named after Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, who in the whole act is planned is essentially intended to block part of DeJoy's 10-year plan to restructure the postal service. Some of these things with the USPS includes like delaying mail delivery service from his current standpoint. Also, he's trying to raise the price of postage. So a lot of people are against this. You have prominent Democrats calling for him to basically be fired. The postal board needs to fire him, and because and he was placed there by Trump. He's a Republican mega donor and all of that, and he had no prior post office experience. So you even had Tammy Duckworth, Illinois senator, who actually was saying that him being in that position is a clear and present threat to the future of the postal service and the well-being of millions of Americans. And she might not be far off from seeing that. And this, it's a new day in this administration. You actually have that bill having a chance at seeing some light, since the Democrats actually have the majority of both the House of Republicans and the Senate, House of Representatives, and the Senate. So we'll see how this turns out. Green Wall and graduation. Report out of the new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Now, y'all might have heard of Dominion voting systems. If you had paid attention to the elections over this past year, whatever, this was the voting system, one of the voting systems set up where that had the machines out there that people would use to vote on who was going to be the president of the United States. And Dominion Voting Systems has filed a lawsuit against Fox News for $1.6 billion. And they did it for Fox News spreading conspiracy theories on Dominion Voting Systems rigging the 2020 election against Donald Trump. Like, they repeatedly were on there saying this. And mind you, other news outlets, people who were paying attention, whatever, have already found these to be baseless claims. So it's not looking good for white Fox News. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all gotta fuck with Black Fox News. You do what I'm saying? Because we don't fuck with that fake shit. But keep in mind, Dominion Voting System, they also have sued Mike Lindell, the MyPillow CEO and Trump ally, and also Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani, Trump's lawyers, who had, repeatedly been on Fox News spreading these conspiracy theories. So, very interesting. Every dog has his day. And let that go to y'all fucking conservatives out there that caught a whiff of what was going on with the Republican Party and thinking that's the way that you handle politics and shit like that or whatever. Like, this system's already set in place that prevents you from just saying whatever and doing whatever the fuck you want. So unless you're really certain, which I think some of them may have felt, but unless you're really certain that you rigged the inside of the justice system to already fuck with you and be inside with you no matter what, you probably got to worry about legal repercussions to your actions. You get what I'm saying? Y'all can't just be out here doing what the fuck y'all want just because y'all some Republicans, fake ass patriots. Green War graduation though. Report out of the world of the Bishop Grady let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in New York, you actually had a group of activists that have officially ended a 14-day hunger strike. And they were hunger striking because they were calling on New York, and are still calling on New York to give $3.5 billion in funding for people who have been excluded from pandemic relief, including undocumented migrants who a lot of times are essential workers, and people recently released from prison. So we will see what comes from this. You know what I mean? Much power to the people, much power and respect to people who actually will go about a hunger strike to actually get their point across. You know what I'm saying? They did it for 14 days. That's a big deal. Unfortunately, I don't think people really I don't think governments really be responding until you about to die. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see if this actually makes a change. It definitely has brought some awareness because they're telling you about it. You know what I mean? Green War graduation.